All right, everyone. Today is going to be a special one. Yeah. Today I want to talk to you guys about teaching, why I decided not to pursue a career in education, and my thoughts on the pros and cons of education and whether or not it's right for you. So go ahead and grab a seat, grab a soft drink. I always say 0 calories are better than any calories. Cheers. And let me really break down my experience, my thoughts, and what I think you should do. So let me give you a little background information. All my life, I grew up around sports. I was a very competitive kid. I played football, soccer, basketball, badminton, any sport you can think, I played it and I loved it. I loved the competitiveness of sports. I loved the character that it built in you, and I loved the camaraderie. After graduating high school, I was able to go play Division II football for a little while. However, I'd suffered several knee injuries prior to that, which ended my career short. I fell in love with nutrition, fitness, sports, a healthy lifestyle, all the great things that sports provided with me in my life. Now, both my parents were teachers, so I guess I was a little biased, and I decided to go into education. They had no part in that. However, all throughout college, I was so excited for the day that I'd graduate, be done, and be ready to teach. So after 4 long years of studying anatomy, chemistry, biology, well, I didn't think I was signing up for a doctor's degree. These were prerequisites for physical education. Once I completed all my coursework, it was time to student teach. So at the beginning of this year, I finally started my student teaching journey. I was thrilled. This was the day I was looking forward to. I met with my mentor teacher, we discussed the plans, I'd asked him so many questions. Every single day we'd collaborate and I'd learn from him and I'd gain more experience and be ready for the next day. I always had the mentality that I was going to bring my 110% for my kids, always give my best to them, and always improve my teaching style. Throughout the year, we had a lot of fun. I would run my miles with my students, I would talk to other teachers, learn about their experience, and it really gave me a lot of insights that I'd never learned before about the teaching profession. Unfortunately, due to the oh my gosh, I can't say that at all, I really can't. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we had to close early, and we went online. And that's when I really thought about teaching and whether or not it was for me. I will say that teaching was a lot of fun. I did enjoy the process, I did like the career for the most part, and I loved the kids and learning and growing with them and seeing all of their hard work pay off. However, I want to dive deeper into the pros and cons of teaching and what I really learned when I went through the experience. Oh my gosh. I'm a pretty positive person, so I think we should start with the pros. I think the best aspects about teaching are impacting kids' lives in a positive way. There's nothing more exciting than working with kids that truly care, seeing them work hard at something, and seeing them achieve their dreams and goals. That was the most fun part about teaching, in my opinion. And if you're a teacher out there, I'm sure that you can relate. The second thing I would say is that the benefits and compensation in most states are relatively good. You work 180 days of the year and the rest are on holidays off or summers. That's really nice. And growing up with 2 parents for teachers, that was definitely a lot of fun. So if you're looking for something that's stable, has decent pay, has good time off, and provides you with an experience of helping others, then I'd say teaching is for you. On the other hand though, I will say there are some cons to teaching. So I mentioned that one of the most rewarding things about teaching is seeing kids achieve their goals and kill it. However, on the contrary, that's where things start to get a little bit blurry. I'd say about 95% of the kids that you have in your classroom really don't want to be there. And if you're saying, oh Blake, that's totally false. Just think about when you were in 10th through 12th grade. Did you want to be there? I truly did like to go to school, but there were days, especially my senior year, that I absolutely hated going to school every day. And this is truly reflected in the teaching profession as a whole. The majority of your kids that don't want to be there, and a handful of kids that are your best learners or your highest achievers in the classroom. This was super frustrating for me when I would pour all my time and energy into these kids just to see them not care at all. And when I mean blatantly don't care at all, I mean, oh, what'd you say? That's what I mean. And for me, this was really frustrating, and typically I didn't enjoy going to those class periods where I knew about 99% of those kids didn't care. I know you might say, oh, well, it was your teaching style, but if you know anything about me, I'm a pretty optimistic person, and my mentor teacher was also there, and he was an awesome guy as well. So if you consider teaching, I would really adapt this mindset And just know that a lot of the kids don't want to be there, but you're really teaching for the few that do. The second con that I will point out is that there is no scalability with teaching. If you're as competitive as me, and if you love achieving, and if you love setting goals for yourself, teaching really kind of limits this for you in a lot of ways. For instance, if you want to gain more financial independence in your life, well, you're kind of stuck in a system. As teachers, each year you scale up your salary by a minor percentage. In some states, teachers really don't receive hardly anything. In fact, I'd say the best teachers are underpaid and the worst teachers are overpaid. Some teachers pour their hearts, energy, and soul into these kids, and it is totally noticed by everyone. However, I feel like these teachers are underpaid in most states, and they don't receive the proper attention that they deserve. So shout out great teachers out there. For the worst teachers, or the clock punchers as I like to call them, they just want to go there, get a paycheck, and then head on home on their vacation time. Those people are the worst. So when considering going into teaching, just know that you're kind of limiting your potential financial success as far as being able to create more, push yourself more, or scale up. For me, I'm really competitive. I love to grow. I love to push myself. I love to learn new things, and I will challenge myself every day. And I really didn't find that in teaching because I had to help other people find that in themselves. And for a few people, I did. But like I said, for 95% of those kids, they didn't care. The last thing that I want to cover is for my PE major specifically. If you're not a science teacher, math teacher, or an English major, then you're going to have a really hard time finding a job fresh out of college. Now, I do know several people that have been able to do that, and they're very fortunate. For me, it was the other way around. I was at a brand new high school. They had 4 PE openings. I didn't even get an interview. At the high school I was student teaching at, I did not get an interview. I thought this was insane. I had made great connections. I had put as much work in as I possibly could, and still to no avail. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I didn't give up. I went and I applied for every PE teacher job in the Valley. And I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. The population's about 1.5 million people, so there's a lot of kids out there that need to be taught. I went to job fairs. I applied to different positions, yet heard nothing. So after being very disheartened, after graduating, getting my degree, taking on some loans, working all throughout college to get my degree, I had nothing to prove for it. So I took some drastic measures and I decided to apply for any teaching job I could find. I decided to apply to science jobs, math jobs, history jobs, and I didn't hear anything except for a couple. And by that point, they required me to get my credential in that subject. So if you want to teach something that's very specialized, like business or physical education or drama or anything that doesn't have a high demand, make sure that you get credentialed in something else. This will act as a security blanket so that if it doesn't work out for you, you'll be able to slide into a district teaching something else and hopefully wedge your way into the position of your dreams later. This is something I had to learn the hard way because getting credentialed during a pandemic is pretty hard. However, I do think that teaching is a great profession for those that truly love to impact others, aren't too worried about the money, and really do enjoy spending quality time with their families and having a comfortable job that provides all those things. For me though, I found that I was way too competitive with myself. I had to push myself every single day. I wanted to start different businesses. I had different ideas. I wanted to create financial freedom for myself. I wanted to grind. And these are things that I found that I couldn't do with teaching. So that's all I have to say about teaching in my experience. There's a lot to learn out there. I really do think everyone should ask themselves these questions, and if they really want to go into teaching. I don't recommend that you go add $50,000 of debt, thankfully I didn't do that, just to get a teaching degree. Because there's a lot of great methods out there, junior colleges, local state colleges, that you can get your teaching credential for practically a fraction of what most universities cost. This way, if the teaching profession isn't for you, you really aren't in a lot of debt, you're able to feel out the industry, and you can move on and make a decision from there. I really did love teaching, and I do love impacting others, but I think that you can do that in a lot of other ways as well. So that's all that I have for you guys. If you can, hit that like and subscribe button. I love sharing my experiences with you, and I really do hope that they help you guys. Thank you so much for signing in with me today. We'll see you again next time. I do think the teaching profession is a great one for most people. That's not true.